All right, today we're going to talk about one of the most basic and honestly one of the most common security flaws you'll ever find. It's called CWE-276, and it's all about the hidden dangers that are just sitting there waiting for us in our software's default settings.
So, let me ask you a question. Imagine you just bought a brand new car. It shows up in your driveway, it's perfect, it's shiny, but the keys are already in the ignition and the doors are unlocked. I mean, it's basically just begging for someone to hop in and take off. That sounds completely nuts, right? Well, what if I told you that this exact same thing happens every single day in the digital world?
You see, that unlocked car, it's not just a random idea. It is the perfect way to think about our first big point, the unlocked digital door. Because that's exactly what we're up against when we install a lot of new software right out of the box.
And here's the thing you've got to understand. This isn't really a bug in the way we usually think about them. In many cases, it's a choice. A lot of programs and systems are just shipped and installed in a state that is wide open by default. The security isn't broken, it just was never locked to begin with.
Now, this problem is so common, so widespread, that it has its own official name in the cybersecurity world. So it's time to meet the actual culprit here, weakness CWE-276.
So what is CWE-276? The official name is Incorrect Default Permissions, and it's pretty simple. It's what happens when software gets installed and its file permissions are set so wide open that basically anyone, not just you, the person who's supposed to be in charge, can get in and start changing things.
And get this is not a problem with just one kind of software or one operating system. The official system calls this a base-level weakness. You know what that means? Think of it like a bad foundation for a house. It doesn't matter how amazing the rest of the house is, if the foundation is cracked, you've got a serious problem. It's a fundamental flaw in logic that can pop up just about anywhere.
Okay, so you might be thinking, all right, some files are left open. What's the real damage? What's the big deal? Well, the truth is, leaving this digital door unlocked can have some really, really bad consequences. Let's break down what can actually go wrong. First up, you've got your confidentiality breach. If the permissions are wide open, an attacker can just read the application's data. It's literally like a burglar walking into your unlocked house and just casually flipping through your mail, your bank statements, all your private documents. All of a sudden, nothing is a secret anymore.
But honestly, it gets so much worse. We're not just talking about somebody reading your files. We're talking about an integrity breach. This is where an attacker can actually change things. They can modify your code, delete important logs, or mess with critical data. This is like that same burglar deciding, you know what, I'm going to rewrite your will or just shred your family photos for fun. The damage here isn't just about privacy, it can be totally permanent.
And believe me, this is not just some theoretical threat. This stuff happens all the time. Look at these real-world examples. In one case, a program was installed so that literally anybody could rewrite its core files. In another, user home folders were just readable for everyone on the system. And maybe the worst of all, a log file with passwords stored in plain text was just left sitting out in the open for anyone to grab. These are simple mistakes, but they have absolutely devastating potential.
Okay, so we've seen the problem, we've seen the damage it can cause. So what's the fix? Well, the good news is, the idea behind the solution is actually pretty straightforward. It's all about locking things down from the very, very start. This quote right here, it really says it all. The whole philosophy boils down to something called the principle of least privilege. The idea is super simple. Don't give anyone or any part of the system more access than they absolutely positively need to do their job. Nothing more. So how do you actually put this into practice? Well, first you have to think about security from day one, right from the design phase. It can't be an afterthought. Second, you break the system up into smaller, isolated pieces or compartments. And third, for every single file and every single user, you grant only the bare minimum permissions they need to function. It's a complete flip from that old everyone gets access default.
So let's just zoom out for a second and talk about why CWE-276 isn't just some little technical detail. It's actually a huge issue in the grand scheme of cybersecurity.
The official rating for how likely this weakness is to be exploited is medium. But as we've already seen, the potential impact is incredibly high. And that's a really dangerous combination. It's kind of like a busy road with no guardrails right next to a 1,000-foot cliff. It might not cause a problem every single day, but when it does, the results are catastrophic.
And hey, if you need any more proof that this is a big deal, just look at this number, 4. For 4 of the most recent years, CWE-276 has been on the official top 25 most dangerous software weaknesses list. This isn't some old, forgotten flaw we've already fixed. It's a clear and present danger that just keeps showing up year after year. At the end of the day, what we're talking about here is a truly foundational flaw. It's a huge piece of what's known as the OWASP Top 10, one of the most respected lists of critical security risks. It can affect pretty much any system out there, and it's even a major problem in industrial control systems, the tech that runs our power grids and our factories. The stakes really couldn't be any higher.
And that brings us to one final thought. Let's go back to our house analogy one last time. If the builder who made your house just leaves the front door unlocked by default and then someone breaks in, who's really at fault here? Is it the builder who created the vulnerable situation in the first place, or is it the homeowner who never bothered to check the locks? It's a tough question, and it's one the software industry is still trying to figure out every single day. Something to think about.